Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another We've Read the Documents live stream. Your host, John Brisson. Thank you for being a subscriber. If you want to support my work, buy me coffee /We've Read. If you want to subscribe to my work, search We've Read the Documents on Odyssey, Patreon, and Substack. God bless each and every one of you. Biden has a warning for us in his farewell address. Let's listen.
That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. And this is a dangerous concentration, and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before, more than a century ago. But the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy. They just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to.
Well, so what Biden is saying is true. We have to remember that he allowed the oligarchs to do their damage as well, too. We have to, let's us forget that, for example, Palantir still continued under Operation Tiberius Kirk under the Biden administration and also played a role in the renewal of Biden's cancer moonshot program. Let's just forget that Palmer Luckey, with the help of Palantir, they built the virtual border wall between Mexico and the United States under the Biden administration. And let's just forget Palantir and Elon Musk through Starlink directly helped the United States forces and the NATO forces in Ukraine. Interesting. All the the leftist truthers out there, like Dave Troy, New America Dave Troy, and Jim Stewart said, they rag so much on the technocratic oligarchs like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. So much so as Jim Stewart said, call him Peter Thiel the Antichrist. But yet Palantir has done great help in Ukraine, and they're pro-Ukraine, right? Very Russia. And look, I, throughout this channel, have been extremely critical of Vladimir Putin and Alexander Dugin and, the Russian oligarchs, the Mountain Jewish Russian oligarchs as a whole. Still am. But just pointing out contradictions. Okay. So, Mark Andreessen and Horowitz, has been recruiting and interviewing people for positions across the Trump administration, including posts at the Department of Defense and intel agencies. It's a sign of immense influence that venture capitalists are having on the transition team as they advance a little tech agenda. They're already seeing early wins. AR and crypto czar David Sachs is already working with industry leaders on legislative strategy, and Trump is expected to issue crypto executive orders on day one of his administration. At lunch at Mar-a-Lago December, Sachs also committed to revoke the 2023 AI executive order, which was widely criticized by Andreessen Horowitz and other venture capital firms. Expect VCs and startups to be in D.C. to celebrate the inauguration. Peter Thiel is planning a party. I wonder if it's going to be a Hereticon. And a crypto ball is scheduled later this week. We might take a look maybe later if I get around to it of the 2023 AI executive order. Why Andreessen and Horowitz and other venture capitalist firms would be widely criticizing of that executive order. Mark Anderson shuts out World Future Society member Al Gore. Al Gore never said he invented the internet. Okay, let's see what Mark Anderson has to say about World Future Society member Al Gore.
I was actually one of my little claims to fame. I was the third wheel in the first presidential webcast. So
it's weird, I usually don't like to comment on people's looks, but I'm going to do it here. That I didn't say I never do it. I said I try not to or rarely do it. Mark Andreessen literally looks like Dan Aykroyd from Coneheads.
So Bill Clinton and I did the first presidential webcast, presidential internet town hall, I think in 1996. And, it was like a big deal in those days to do that.
Right,
And he could not, and he called me afterwards, and he was just completely thrilled by the whole thing. It was so fantastic. And of course, Al Gore literally, he got a lot of flack later for
saying that he invented the internet.
Well, but this is the thing, is he never actually, so here I'll defend Al Gore's honor.
Okay.
He never said he invented the internet. He said he took the lead in the Senate in helping to create the internet, which is actually true. He was the sponsor of the legislation in the 80s that created what was known as the NSF-Net, National Science Foundation Network, which became the internet. That is the internet backbone.
So I might cover the Mark Andreessen interview. Might be a good thing to cover. But Palmer Luckey, I mentioned, Anduril Industries, drone manufacturer, virtual border wall. Well, he defends Mark. Mark Andreessen is right about the media totally misrepresenting what Gore said in that instance, but the story is deeper than a specific debunk. He made really dubious claims on many other occasions. I think it's fair to say I did more than any other individual point the internet. As the first to recognize the internet could be a powerful tool for democracy, education, and business. We first got to Congress to start working on basic ideas for the internet, and the technology would make it possible. Okay. So Palmer Luckey also invented the Oculus, supposedly, allegedly, right? And he wanted to put a special game in the Oculus that, if you played and lost, you would die, right? So again, we're talking about oligarchs, right? Talk about technocrats, right? Just keeping tabs, because we know it's likely that the World Economic Forum will be replaced by some version of the World Future Society, right? Me and S90 have talked about it extensively on this channel. Just keeping tabs. Oh, talking about technocrats. Vivek Ramaswamy, dawn of a new golden age starts Monday. Well. Trump's inauguration is Monday. Wow, now the World Economic Forum CEO is pleased that Trump will join Davos 2025. Imagine that.
Very pleased that...
Do we remember that Klaus Schwab? Was it 2019? Wasn't he just fawning over Trump when Trump went to Davos? I think it was 2019, right? Let's see here. Trump went to Davos. Let me see. Trump, Davos, WEF. Maybe it was before then. Was it 2019? No. Yes, it was 2019, 2020. It's January 2020. So yeah, they're all fawning over Trump. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
President Trump will join us, as I said, in his first week as president, live in Davos and in dialogue with CEOs also. We have been told that the administration wants a broad footprint towards the end of our meeting. I'm then talking about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. As we know, the inauguration happens on Monday, the 20th, and the Senate will probably start the process of then also clearing new secretaries, confirming new secretaries Monday afternoon. So towards the end, we do expect even additional high level of representation from the Trump administration. So we're very pleased by that, because we know that there is a lot of interest, of course, among our participants, also the rest of the world, to decipher and understand the policies of the new administration. So it will be a very interesting week.
There you go. Elon Musk says true to when he says, I love humans and I love humanity. So we know that Elon Musk is a neo-theosophist. He believes in human potential. Okay, so does he truly love humanity? Not in a biblical sense. Not agape love that only God can truly have. But we can, with the Holy Spirit in us, share a closeness, a form of agape love. But he doesn't really truly love people, right? He just believes in their quote-unquote usefulness and potential, right?
humanity. I think obviously we're not perfect, and we people do things that are bad at times. But on balance, I love humans and I love humanity. So.
On Valentine's Day, it's just about love, right? Hey, let's check back in with Ivan Racklin. Why not, right? America voted for maximum retribution. Oh, boy. The mandate for retribution is clear. 86.5 hours remain. Okay. Let's check in with the NAR. Laura, you there for Magical Mystery Church? Go subscribe to Laura. Let's check in with the NAR. Paul White Kane. I'm here with my good friend, Scientology friendly Pam Bondi, for a hearing for our 87th Attorney General. Continue to pray for her and all President Trump cabinet nominees. Okay, so Pam Bondi becoming the Attorney General of the United States of America. She's confirmed. It looks like she likely will be confirmed. Upcoming extensively connections to Scientology, be going to multiple Scientology fundraisers, defending Scientology. She might be a Scientologist herself. All right, so NAR and Scientology meeting, right? Right. This is keep tabs. Just keep tabs. Oh, look, this is a picture of Trump. Oh, that picture's scary. Ooh, chills down your spine, scary. But the picture looks very familiar. I think it looks familiar to the picture when Trump was arrested, his famous mugshot, right? So now his White House portrait is the infamous mugshot of the lawless one. In the White House. Just saying. Same picture. Kind of odd. Picture of the lawless one. Because, none of those cases, Trump was found guilty. But, he didn't have to serve any jail time, right? He is a felon, but didn't have to serve any jail time, right? In the New York case, right? No, let's see what Brother Paul has to say here about Trump and the Abraham Accords.
It's breaking news today that negotiators from Israel and Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire and a hostage release in Gaza, with the ceasefire itself set to take effect on...
Now, I agree with everything about Brother Paul, and a lot of things I think he conflates about Trump being the Antichrist. But I'll say this, he doesn't believe that the world ends in 2030. He doesn't believe the Messiah 2030 propaganda. Go look at my friend Aaron Fochman's excellent videos on debunking Messiah 2030. It's got to be some sort of Hebrew roots op. But anyway, nonetheless, Brother Paul does not believe, just like Jonathan Dane does not believe, and just like I do not believe that Jesus returns in 2030.
On Sunday. Of course, Donald Trump immediately took credit for this with a statement on Truth Social, which reads, "This epic ceasefire agreement could have only happened as a result of our historic victory in November, as it signaled to the entire world that my administration would seek peace and negotiate deals to ensure the safety of all Americans and our allies. I am thrilled American and Israeli hostages will be returning home to be reunited with their families and loved ones. With this deal in place, my national security team, through the efforts of Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff..."
I've talked about Steve Witkoff on this channel. Okay, I've talked about him being there at the Trump assassination and his crypto dealings with his son, second Trump assassination of the golf course. I've talked in depth about Steve Witkoff, all right?
"We'll continue to work closely with Israel and our allies to make sure Gaza never again becomes a terrorist safe haven. We will continue promoting peace through strength throughout the region as we build upon the momentum of the ceasefire to further expand the historic Abraham Accords."
Now, it's very interesting because Biden didn't end the Abraham Accords. You'd think he would, right? He didn't end the virtual border wall. He didn't end Operation Tiberius Kirk because he's supposed to be against all these oligarchs, right? But he didn't end any of that, right? He actually prolonged, if you look at it, the war in Israel. Biden did, okay? And now since Trump comes in office, magically there's a ceasefire where they're all saying that was the one Trump did it, even though Biden's still in office. All right. Nonetheless, Biden didn't any of these things. He's not the oligarch fighter that the left wants you to think that he is, okay? Or progressive researchers want you to think that he is. He's not. He's just straight up not, all right? So, just like much as Trump really didn't secure peace. But that's what they're going to make you think that he did. Okay. Now, does he? Now, if he does, and they start building a third temple, well, it's looking more likely that Donald Trump's the Antichrist, right? But we'll see. We'll see. But there are a lot of people who don't believe that he is, that are a friend of mine, okay, that will change their tune if that starts coming into play. We'll see if it does or not, okay?
This is only the beginning of great things to come for America and indeed the world. We have achieved so much without even being in the White House. Just imagine all of the wonderful things that will happen when I return to the White House and my administration is fully confirmed so they can secure more victories for the United States. The key part of Trump's statement is in reference to expanding the Abraham Accords. I do believe that this will be a priority of his during the first few months of his new administration, as he has always seen himself as the only one who can bring peace to the Middle East. As we know, the Bible specifically...
All right, so there we go. There's that. And here we have Chaim Levinson. There was no deal, laugh out loud. The great and huge Donald Trump took Netanyahu's hand. It's a little graphic, but I just want to show you. And I'll tell you who he is in a minute and show you. It's important. Okay. Bent it behind his back, then bent it a little more, then push his head on the table, then whispered in his ear that he'd kick his blank in a moment. It's a shame Biden didn't realize this a long time ago. Okay. So Levinson is a Harlot's senior diplomatic correspondent. Okay. It's not just some dude. All right. Harlot is like kind of like a Jewish Operation Mockbird, like their version of like propaganda, written propaganda, right? So, Breaking news, Trump appoints John Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone, 3 huge New Agers, and pushing of the plan and pushing the golden age of America and pushing Trump. Okay. To be special ambassadors of all places to Hollywood, California. Well, why? These 3 talented, very talented people will be my eyes and ears. And we'll get done what they suggest. It will be like the United States of America itself, the golden age of Hollywood. And finally, I guess one last thing to that. Of course, because it's the golden age of Hollywood, right? It can't get more golden age than this. We're gonna get a wrap with Kabbalah Queen herself, Roseanne. Tom McDonald. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a golden age of Hollywood. It's a golden age of music. It's a golden age of this. It's a golden age of that. Unfinished. I gotta clear my throat for this. Quick, draining the swamp. As of today, the incoming Trump administration has hired over 1,000 people for the United States government. They're outstanding in every way, and you'll see the fruits of their labor over the coming years. We will make America great again. It will happen very quickly. In order to save time, money, and effort, it will be helpful if you will not send or recommend us people worked with or endorsed by America's for No Prosperity, headed by Charles Koch, CMP Charles Koch, Dumb as a Rock, CMP John Bolton, Birdbrain, CMP Nikki Haley, CMP Mike Pence. Interesting, he didn't give Mike Pence any crazy name. Okay, we know that Pence and Trump both spoke at the Mooney rally, the Unification Church rally, Unity for Peace. I've covered that on this channel. All right, they are not really against each other. That's WWE. His disloyal warmongers, Dick Cheney, his psycho daughter, Liz, Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, General Mark Milley, James Mattis, Mark Jesper, interesting, or any of the people suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, more commonly known as TDS. There we go, the TDS. Can't be in the government if you have TDS. Remember, we were told about Howard Lucky Lutnick, loyalty checks of the administration, loyalty checks, and that you have to pledge your allegiance to Donald John Trump to be able to be in the Trump United States government. we have the commercial from Nicole Shanahan, the technocrat herself, about, what was it, Liberty? Was it Liberty? Was it freedom? I don't remember. They almost are saying the Trump derangement syndrome was a drug that was a disease that could be cured by a drug. Okay. So it's really all I really got. I don't think there's really anything else for this stream. I know it was a short one. It's late and I'm tired. There's not really too much else really to say. I mean, there's so much stuff going on, but it's like, can I get myself to care? Yes, please pray for everyone, that's being affected by the fires in California. That's something important to say there. It's sad. I understand that Los Angeles is a wicked place, but there are numerous wicked cities across the world. And we are called to pray for our enemies, and not everybody there is our enemy. There's Christian brothers and sisters who've lost their houses and their valuables, so just pray that the fires are put out, pray for peace, pray for God's will to be done. It's important. Just looking real quick to see if there's really anything else to really just, talk about, because I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of things to cover. There are, but it's like, does it really matter at this point? I know I'm still dealing with apathy there, and I'm sorry. Please apologize. I do, but I don't know. I don't know. Here's an interesting Bloomberg article, just to show the hypocrisy again, just to close the hypocrisy. Biden. American oligarchy decried by Biden gained $1.5 trillion in his term. The various richest Americans among the biggest winners of the President Joe Biden's time in office. Despite his farewell address warning of an oligarchy and a techno-industrial complex just that threatened U.S. democracy. The 100 wealthiest Americans got more than $1.5 trillion richer over the last 4 years, with tech tycoons including Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg leading the way, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. So there you go. I mean, he's just literally a... a financier, pusher, people around Biden, of the oligarchs himself, just continuing the plan, right or right or left, it doesn't matter. They're continuing with the plan. Okay, it's just, come on. Now, this is interesting. I guess we'll finish with this. I know me and S90, we're going to get together, maybe doing a show of the Council for National Policy's obsession with Greenland. And I know there were U.S. presidents that wanted to purchase Greenland before the CNP's obsession with the Jesuit Patrick J. Buchanan in the 90s. But, I found meeting itineraries and then visiting Greenland and stuff like that from the 80s and the 90s. I mean, this has been a goal of the Council for National Policy forever. And, Trump's last tweet is proof that they're going to do Schedule F. They're going to do Project 2025 and put in all of these CNP, Heritage Foundation loyalists, and all these government positions, right? That's all but proven at this point that that's going to happen. So, I mean, this play for Greenland, I put it a pretty strong confidence that we're going to end up either, I don't think Greenland's going to become a state, okay? And I've said that. It could, but I don't think it's going to become the 51st state. My guess is it's going to become some sort of territory or special territory of the United States of America. That's my guess. It may not happen, but I think it's a really good chance because who's looks like they're getting involved with it and everything. And so here's Trump picks a jet-setting pal of Elon Musk to go get Greenland. Ken Howery is I've talked about Ken Howery, obviously, Founders Fund. He's a quiet, unassuming tech investor who prioritizes discretion, yet he has ended up in the middle of two of the noisiest storylines of the coming Trump administration. One is the expanding ambition of Elon Musk, Mr. Howery's close friend and fellow party scene fixture since the two have helped run PayPal for 25 years ago. The other is the expansionist ambition of Mr. Musk's boss, President-elect Donald John Trump, decides on buying Greenland, the world's largest island. As Mr. Trump's pick for ambassador to Denmark, Mr. Howery is expected to be central to what Mr. Trump hopes will be a real estate deal of epic proportions. It only hinges at Denmark, which counts Greenland as an autonomous territory, Howery says the island is not for sale. Whether he likes it or not, Mr. Howery, a globetrotter known for his taste of adventure and elaborate party planning, is likely to find himself in the middle of a geopolitical tempest. Mr. Trump has had explicit about his expectations for his new ambassador, filling a once sleepy post. When he announced Mr. Howery for the role, which requires Senate confirmation, he reiterated designs of Greenland for the first time since winning the presidency. Trump wanted Greenland last time he was president. That hasn't changed. And he does have Danish royal blood. I've talked about this on this channel. Which, if the Danish are the lost tribe of Dan, that would make Trump, from the lost tribe of Dan. If that's true, then, a lot of the early church writers would allude to that the tribe of Dan is where the Antichrist would come from. So let's see here. I mean, will it happen? We'll see. But I put in a pretty strong confidence. I do think it's going to happen. I'm not saying for sure. 100%. But I'm pretty sure. I think it's going to happen. I think they want to build, as I've talked about, that one, what's that one cryptocurrency where they want to build some sort of utopia. I covered it last time. I'm sorry, I can't think of what it is. They've talked about building it in Greenland. So there you go. Go look at one of my previous. Thomas says Trump's not from the tribe of Dan. He's Anglo-Saxon. That's actually a common misconception. He does have Scottish heritage. That is true. But he also has Danish heritage. Actually, there's articles written. Go back to look at my stream on Trump and Denmark and the tribe of Dan. There are Danish heritage foundations that have actually claimed that Trump is Danish. So Trump does have Scottish blood in him. He does have German blood in him. And he does have Danish blood in him. So you definitely can Google articles where it is being discussed. So definitely, if you have not seen that, you do definitely need to take a look on that. It is definitely there. Has been reported many times throughout the years. All right. God bless each and every one of you. Have a good evening. Be back with the stream sometime soon. Take care. God bless.